Welcome back to Open Goal FC, man. Podcast! How you doing, boys? How you doing? How you doing, guys? All right, mate?
Not bad, mate. Yourself?
Good, mate. Cookie, great to have you on, my man.
No problem.
Robbie boy, back from Venice. How was it?
It was good, my man. It was good. You've been before?
Never been to Venice. Excuse me.
Have you been? Anyone's been to
Never been to
Venice?
Venice, no.
It's good, mate. We've got it. Traffic's murder, but yeah, there.
Is it?
Was it no boats?
It's no roads, mate. So no traffic whatsoever. But it was good because I was staying in Airbnb and it was just to see the building site, so that was good. So I started 7 in the morning. So
Did Andy not sort you out?
It's
You're good, no?
I'll need your
She's gorgeous, isn't she?
She's alright.
Kev, how you, big boy?
Mate, I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Are you doing 43 tonight?
Well, I'm ready to go, look.
Aye, ready. Yeah! So they're going to be in action tonight?
Don't you have me the cut again
No.
to train?
You got to be on to bed? That's what I meant by being in action tonight.
Oh.
I think you should auction them off at the end of the season.
I think it's imagine wearing them when you're going for it in bed. Lads, he's buzzing to be on. Aye, mate.
Go see it, mate.
Aye,
He's big cooties, know what you say there.
I'm all here to see you.
you just keep him right, innit?
No, I'm alright.
Mate, what about his arse in that motor? Mate, he just keeps on letting rippers out in the motor.
Aye,
Didn't you?
Not just the motor. So one time I was out with my pal Marcus, right? And I said, boy, lift, man. Fucking place was mobbed. I had a big ripper, man. Looking about, who's that?
Right, guys, before we go to you, mate, nothing happens with it. Who knows wins. Congratulations to our 2 winners, Jambo Lampard 87 and Man Cowberback.
Oh,
is that right?
Cowber back, aye.
Is that right?
1988.
Aye. 1988, who both won £3,250 after getting 10 out of 10 correct. That is unbelievable.
That is unbelievable, to be fair. Aye, good on you, boys.
Good on you, well done. Frank obviously tied up again at the weekend, getting an impressive 7 out of 10 results.
It's his best.
I wanted you to laugh there when I said I'm tied up again, but they did it terrible. As always, download the Who Knows When app to play and join the Scottish Pick 10 League for your chance to win big cash and monthly prize of a signed Open Goal Broomhill FC top.
Tremendous.
Good start.
Brilliant.
Bit shaky, bit shaky.
No,
Much
it's
more confident now, isn't
Good start for you, but a bit quieter our side of the table.
Oh, right,
£3 and £250. I don't think that's how the kids say it, but
Well, we've got a bank in. You know about money, Cookie. Would you ever see that? It's only £3 grand.
Absolutely not.
Would you know?
3,000 a quarter. 3,000 a quarter pound in it.
it's what it's £3 on £250. I'm going to £3.25. I've not got a clue.
So, guys, yes, you are the captain of the club. How did that come about, guys, when Si phoned you to let you know you're going to be the captain?
First of all, I think he must have been steaming. No, I said that I was the captain, and I thought, fuck, who are we signing? No, obviously, it meant a lot, obviously. My agent at 28 last year, swelled it for 15 months, injured. And he said, do you want to be the captain? I said, aye, definitely.
And what I love, guys, was obviously when Si said, right, I'm going to I've decided I'm going to let guys, I'm going to give guys a captaincy because you'll lead by example, and in the first friendly game you get sent to Africa on the ref double. That was superb, wasn't it?
See what I liked about that, but he gets sent off a double ball, but I asked him, what did you call me? He said, a fucking clown. I asked somebody else, said a double ball. I asked somebody else, he said, it's a prank.
No,
Every single one.
I said, the boy always said bad tackle and Brock, and I was like, fucking hell, ref, man. And he said, he booked me or something, and I said, fucking double. And he sends me off, but obviously I've learned for that, and I just don't open my mouth anymore.
Nah,
So only both of you here, Cookie, how did it come about when, in the summer when Si phoned you to bring you in?
He must have been at Boat with the Barrel. Boat with the Barrel looking for players. Nah, because I'd initially went to Annan, and I'd said to Si I'd agreed to go to Annan, so it wasn't going to quite work. But after a couple of weeks straight away, I was thinking, this is not for me.
Why is that? Was it just the travelling or one of the things?
The travelling's one of the reasons, and it just didn't really work out. So, no, fortunate enough, the deal was still here to come here, and knowing the likes of Gaz and that made it that bit easier to sign up.
And then, did you just travel? Because a couple of episodes ago, Si, Dale were talking about the journey. Were you as part of that journey travel up to Peterhead with you too?
Aye.
Were you there?
I was a bus driver. I drove the bus, didn't I?
Did you?
Aye, well, Cookie done it for a while, and then I go right back, so it was free fuel and that and all, so I was taking my man out of Aston, like, the 300 following him up, man, taking him out to parties, not going to pick him back up, so I made a turn out and all.
Was that one of the reasons, so, when Si came, because you have played higher up, so was that one of the reasons you came down lower levels because Si was the manager?
Aye, definitely, for me, because I know the way he is, do you know what I mean? The standards not going to be high, because they disrespect other teams like in League 1, League 2 and that. They're just surviving most years unless you're at one of the full-timers.
That's a great way to describe it.
Do you know what I mean?
Just surviving, whereas here there's an actual project.
Aye.
There's something that there's a a goal to achieve, whereas just surviving, is that how you want to finish off your football career?
Well, I think even for years, I think it was maybe with East Kilbride as well, people kind of moaned about them spending money, but surely that's a good time, Robbie, isn't it?
It's similar to like the lights in the Western Scotland, you've got Darvo as well, and how some people maybe have viewed them the same as just East Kilbride are probably doing it similar to Open Goal. No, probably the money side of it, but just the attraction it's bringing. But see, for even my point of view, being that level, why would you know what that? It's just it's bringing more eyes to the game. It's bringing a better standard of player, and it's probably bringing a better standard of professionalism as well. I think it raises everybody else's game.
The ones that probably moan about it, the ones that are probably envious of the fact it's not their club. Like you say, Robbie, it's the limelight's on the league because of what's happening here. And obviously you guys both 28, 29?
I'm 28.
You're 30, Cookie. Young for 30,
paper
mate. I know, you're looking well, son.
Good looking boy. I just think the fact that 1,600 people here at games, do you know what I mean? Like, that's unbelievable. You're going to get up League 1, League 2.
We're here to see that big thing down there, aren't they?
A lot of shampoo, isn't it?
Size of your feet.
Right, Gaz and Cookie, how have you found the season so far? As easy as that, I know.
It's been good. We got off to obviously a tough start.
You came as a winger, didn't you?
I think I'm trying to work my way around everywhere. To be fair, that's to kill me. Utility, man.
I can't believe I put that in.
I'm going to become a right back, right mid. Well,
you've done brilliant though, centre half, Cookie. You've enjoyed it in there, mate?
It's decent. End of the day, as long as the team's winning, it makes it a bit better. But we got off to a great start, a couple of games, and then we hit the rocks a wee bit, and then we've turned it back round. So listen, if we can keep that going, it's what we'll look to do.
Guys,
I'm the same. Obviously I was suspended for the first game of the season, but I thought the boys were brilliant. Do you know what I mean? That game against Spartans, what you're laughing at? Don't look at me.
Remember the first time it was the first day of the pre-season.
Right after the manual here.
Sorry, Gary, I'll get back right on to you and talk to you about the season so far, if you don't mind. Don't be too rude now. So, me and him were like that. Do you want to go to the zoo tomorrow in training? Captain, first team coach.
What
Got the zoo.
What made you think of the zoo? Who were you looking at when you thought of the zoo?
So, but then Si said if he heard that one more time, twos would get sacked in the spot. Sorry, Gary, on you go. How the season's going, mate?
I think after the zoo, the season went. No, the season. I think it started well, to be honest with you. Obviously, a youth team put together. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of young boys as well, right side and Matty and all that. Do you know what I mean? Who I think have stepped up and been absolutely brilliant. So I think it's went well. Obviously we hit that wee rut. So you're going away to games like Glenrothes and that, it's going to be hard because, let's be serious, we're not used to going and playing like pitches like that and the winds everywhere, and I know that's no excuse, but it is hard to kind of, if you're playing there every week to go and playing that, it is a big difference.
How you're crossing me so bad.
You know what I mean? What's that?
You're crossing me so bad.
I'll say you're brave a day, aren't you?
How do you find it though? See when you decided to sign here, but was there any way you think, well, I've played higher up and I want to stay up in the higher leagues, or?
Nah, the big thing's the training, like, because obviously you spend most of your time at training, so you've got to be enjoying it, and that's the one thing I always say. Size training's the best I've probably had across all the clubs. Just high intensity, high tempo, and you enjoy it, rather than some clubs you go to, it's like a passing drill with pass the ball to death, and it's... You just get bored there. So
still can't pass it.
But nah, that's the big thing, and then obviously you get good boys, so that's half the battle.
I just think the chance of winning something. Do you know what I mean? I've never won anything in my career. I reckon. Do you know what I mean? So I just think the chance here, maybe get a wee chance of maybe going and win something or doing something, being successful.
Well, he's been absolutely brilliant. They both used to be perfectly honest, but it was something that absolutely highlighted my weekend, Robbie, was young Josh Gemmell coming on, first touch of the ball, debut scoring. How proud are you of him, mate?
I was buzzing, mate. And to be fair, one of the things I was most pleased about was the reaction of everybody else as well.
And you said that the boys were texting the group chat as well.
Brilliant. Because I hadn't seen, and then my phone was sort of buzzing off, and I looked and it was loads of boys that before, obviously, he's finished the game or whatever, they're all saying, oh, buzzing for Josh, like, congratulations, that they're all tweeting about it and stuff. And then I checked on the Twitter, and I think it was the same tweet saying that he came on, was also the one that said that he scored the goal. So he was delighted in training last night until I had a wee buzz about him, but tell you what, he was working so hard as well. It's just not as if I came in and kind of thought,
big time now.
He's at that level now, because that's probably the one thing that I'd said to him the last couple of weeks. He says he's got X, Y and Z about his game, but for me, could probably still work a wee bit harder. He's reacting to losing the balls and that could be better, and he definitely took it on board. So hopefully after that he can get a wee bit more opportunity as well as a few others, mate.
Well, last Thursday we Jack and Josh came up and trained, and Jack was about to send me Aldi, wasn't it?
Sent you for a sunbed shop, didn't he?
Well, aye, took me to the sunbed shop, been sick in the sunbed shop.
Very superb, by the way.
But the wee just doesn't stop, and I was out in that pitch there, didn't it? Just kept on me going, and I walked out, I couldn't handle him. But on Thursday night he was absolutely excellent again. And Si, I'm sorry, listen, I've been up to here with the the workload, Robbie,
Nah, you're a business owner, aren't you? So
double CEO, if you know, Robbie boy.
Double
I'm struggling. So Matt's going that. But I would love to come in as a coach, and part of the full thing. It's probably as my job to come and see the 20s and be part of it, which I've not done, which is a disgrace.
No,
but Sai came on Friday and says we were absolutely excellent, mate.
Aye, see, to be fair, we were really good. I think throughout the season, including the friends and competitive games, we've been really good. But the one thing that kind of challenged them on the last few games is looking for like 90-minute players and 90-minute performance, and that's probably the closest we got to it. I think that as well, every game we've played really good football. There's been great passes of playing that, but it's probably been like a 10-15 minute spell where we've maybe looked vulnerable to counter attacks, or they've had that kind of spell in a game. Whereas I think throughout that game we were very, very good.
Tough at like kids even at your age. I know you've under 20s, but you've got some 16, 17-year-olds.
Aye.
It's hard for kids to be focused for 90 minutes, isn't it? It's hard enough for first team players to be focused for 90 minutes. So if you can encourage that in them at a younger age, and obviously the fact with Josh, back to Josh, that gives the rest of the players in your team must give the players like, hope that there is a pathway here for it.
You're saying our 20s is actually still a young team. I mean, we've got, I think, a squad I think it's 17 or 18, but only I think 7 of the boys are in the last year. Right. On Friday, about 2 16-year-olds playing. It's a very young team. But for me, like, the way I see it, if you're serious about progressing to a first team, whether it be lower league or beyond that, you're going to be playing against guys 6, 7, 8-year-older. So it shouldn't matter too much. If you're good enough, then you'll manage it. So it's not something that I think I would ever use as an excuse, or they should either. But as you say, sometimes it can be difficult for younger boys to maintain that consistency. So as a coach, you kind of need to be understanding of that. But on Friday, it was very good. So obviously the challenge is good teams maintain that for months. They don't just stay for a couple of weeks. So that's the challenge going forward.
Focus was a hard time, but I started about 6 years ago and I'm on page 4. Honestly, God. It's a hard time, man.
3 of them are training tonight. So you'll see them again. So,
aye, is Cammy up?
Aye, Josh, Cammy, Josh, Jack and wee Cammy.
Brilliant, and I know the way you are, the way they're working, they will get up at one point and get...
that becomes
on merit. That becomes on merit, doesn't it, Robbie? You don't just get any favours.
Easy, mate, that you would know business owner on that comes easy.
You don't get fucking hitting it, by the way, that's for sure.
I know, I'm still waiting on a can or his juice, you know what I mean?
I know, I was happening with it.
What? Hey. Kev, Friday night. We're back this Friday night show. How good has that been, boys, for you Friday night with that sort of crowd at this level? It's been amazing, isn't it?
No, brilliant. The light show's brilliant, man.
You love it, don't you?
It's just when the lights go back on, I see you're cute.
Wait, what are they doing? Is it picture out there? They've used me, guys, and Semple.
It's a 5 worst, isn't it? It's a 5 worst.
Mate, it's for good horror show, mate.
You asked for it to ban the red light, but didn't you? Manage Amsterdam.
They picked me, you, Semple, and I think the other Sai and Brock is alright. But us three, do you know what I mean? But like, as if you see sometimes you look at that picture before you see it's the top of the team, you're like,
Sai's definitely asked for that, ain't
he? Definitely.
I thought it was a sweet sticker.
So Cookie Boy, Caledonian Braves, who really good team this Friday, 7 unbeaten. Can we go 8 unbeaten?
Like, think so. If the boys go out and play the way we can, then fancy ourselves against most teams, especially at home. We've been excellent here, so I reckon we'll go.
Can I ask you how the game went Saturday?
I should have asked that at the first question.
You should have. I noticed that.
Thank God you've done that. On you go.
Guys, tell me, how was it Saturday, you Skip? That's obviously not a good game.
It was a hard one, but I think these places are always hard to go to. See, the Uni teams and that, I think they're always the hardest games in my eyes, because the wind was mental. There was no stands either, so the wind was just blowing about. The ball was flat. The pitch was all right. It was decent, but it was heavy.
There's a lot of excuses, mate.
It was heavy. You asked me a question, I'm answering. It was heavy, but we won 4-1, so different if we could beat 4-1 of us making any excuses. But we won 4-1 and it was hard. It was a hard game.
See, for your point of view as a coach at this club, considering like the kind of way you are playing and everything he just mentioned, are you more nervous for those type of games than you would be for like a Calabraves on Friday, do you think?
I can't imagine you, SLANEY, being nervous for any game. I think you're quite optimistic regarding
no, I'm
a good outlook and everything.
No, I did get. I always, maybe it's a bad thing, but I always just fucking think we're going to hammer everybody no matter what. And
that's what I mean.
It's excited, but and the opposite side, I get the worst nerves in history with every single game I know. Do you know what I mean? But no, I think maybe at the start there was a few games that had gone away from home. It was tighter pitches, so sometimes out there's massive. You know, maybe you want to play or whatever. But as you said, it's the same for both teams. And we need to adapt to that, which is usually 1-4-1. So listen, doesn't matter what you throw at us, we're ready to go. And we'll be ready this Friday again. Unbelievable, I've just switched that, because it was going a wee bit toxic the other way you were going on about that. Now, remember, link to buy the tickets is in the description box below.
Tremendous, mate.
Friday night will be tough. Friday night will be tough. Friday night will be tough. The good thing is that 7 games undefeated. Chucking a draw in there, I think it's one draw, 6 wins. I mean, that's a good record going into a game like this, and this will kind of, I feel, even at this early stage in the season, this will be a big game in how things play out come towards the end of the season, because if you look at the teams up there, Broomhill, Cullerin Braves, East Kilbride, the fancy teams, so this is a big game, but it's a game that on this park, the way you can play, I think Broomhill's got a right good chance.
The momentum's definitely there, enemy. Even
absolutely.
For I watched the Hearts B game back, and then I watched some of Saturday's game, and Hearts B especially is probably one that you'll know more than me, but that's potentially one that you would have lost maybe at the start of the season.
Especially 10 men, Robbie.
10 men for 60 minutes. They were decent actually, weren't they? They were decent.
They
were good.
I think a lot of people thought that they were going to be young kids and maybe no be physical, but that's exactly what they were. They were in their faces, they were pressing high, they were in your faces or making things difficult, but fair play to Broomhill, they stuck in and got to half time at only 1-0 down, and whatever Si said, they came out in the first 5 minutes, good popping the ball about, got their goal, and then it went in their favour of they get a man sent off. I actually thought that it was a nip and tuck, somebody could have won the game. Whoever could create that last chance in kind of 15-20 minutes, and it was just legs were tired, 10 men, people cramping all over the place, but listen, a point's a great result considering the outcome of how the game went.
Especially academies, they're all coached, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They all train every day, full time.
Every
Rangers,
day.
Celtic, Hearts, they all be hard games, do you know what I mean? Their kids will know, do you know what I mean? They're all pushing to go and be players in the Premier League, do you know what I mean? And I think a good result, but I think if Evan doesn't get sent off, I think we go and win the game, to be honest with you. Because if we'd done that with 10 men, do you know what I mean? I think we'd have men on the park, then I always think.
Boys getting sent off is a problem, Mark.
You've been close a few times, Cookie. I've not got to lie, I've sat up there and I've thought, oh, big man, just slow yourself down. You've got that yellow card. And then I just think, and then you always do, you keep yourself composed, which is great, because it's, I think there's a few, many red cards is that now over the course of season 4? 3 players inside.
I was going to say England inside.
Aye.
Have you not getting one? Have you not getting one?
You need to speak before you sit So, lads, boys, obviously, probably we'll be the first time there's cameras training, there's cameras at games. How have you found that? And even when the documentary was absolutely amazing, that's coming out this Sunday, the next episode.
Wow.
Following, I think it's the last. Next last. Oh, we did so well, but I like to hear. So can you read that for me while I try to think of this next question?
Is it the next bit after the first bit?
That's it. That's exactly what it is.
So episode 2 of the documentary will be released this Sunday. There it was.
And this Sunday. How have you found it, the documentary and the cameras and that stuff about? Because I know some people might not like that.
You just get used to it. You
don't really know they're there though, don't you know?
Don't really know they're there, but...
It's normally when you say something daft, you go, oh shit.
What have I done?
So you start looking about seeing
every time I talk.
Well, to be fair, if you watched the first episode, I wouldn't say it was really noticeable, because I thought you were brilliant on it, weren't you?
When my coupon came up, man. When my coupon came up with that haircut, man, I was like, what the fuck's happening here?
You just got a haircut off that, didn't you?
Yeah, so just have somebody chewed my head.
It'll be something that he'll look back and, like, come the end of the season if things go successful and then you are able to achieve something. It's something that you'll be able to treasure for like a long time, like maybe 20, 30 years down the line. You can look back in the archives and think, man, the time Broomhill did this. So I think it's got to be a good thing. It has to be. Who else is doing that? Do you know what I mean?
No,
it's amazing. The first episode was absolutely brilliant.
And a lot of reading a lot of the comments and stuff on the socials and that, like, people are buzzing for the next part to come out. I'll be honest with you, I think that's actually the first thing I've watched in Open Goal. I don't watch it because I fucking hate the sound of the main voice. So I sat and watched it because I knew my voice wouldn't be in it, and I thought it was fucking excellent. I really enjoyed it. It's great. And insight, obviously, to see Si in a different light, and obviously SLANEY had a couple of words in there that were subtitled, but it was amazing. It's been really good, and I just think the project's been amazing. Really good.
It's probably one of them you watch back where you have an appreciation for the sort of rise mood you went through as well.
People, it's not a joke on us, you know what I mean? Because people thought this was starting up, this was going to be a carry on, and that's what made me say here, because I knew it wouldn't be. I know for a fact.
I remember that first game and coming down the tunnel, and somebody said, my players just get caught up in the circus.
Aye.
And that annoyed me, and I thought, this is not a circus. This is a group of boys trying to do something quite serious here. And up to this point, it's working.
See, to be honest, there's been comments to that, but I genuinely think that the vast majority of people don't actually believe it's like that. No. I think it's just one of those, you always hear the sort of negative ones over it, because everybody that I speak to always says about how good like the boys have come across, how good the manager's coming across, and MD's came to watch and how well the team's doing. So I don't actually believe that is a sort of popular opinion, but you will always get those few.
I think it lights the fire with the teams, the leagues below that could potentially come into the Lowland League. Like they're thinking, what an opportunity to get into that league.
Aye.
To play Broomhill and have that, like, they're a scalp.
Yeah.
Use that a scalp, that's what it is. And listen, we're only, what are we, 12 games in?
12 games in.
12 games in, and we've got, what is it, 30 odd games, so we've got 20 odd games to go. It's got a
long old season.
A long old season, and obviously Christmas coming up, busy period. Like, you're going to have no doubt that the young boys are going to get called up on at some point. You'll get the boots out, mate.
They're on the net.
They're on. Pumas are on.
I think the Christmas part of the season will define a lot where we're going to go.
Aye, definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
But you can't go too far ahead, one game at a time.
The thing is with Si, he's only interested in looking at us, he's not interested in any other teams. We need to concentrate on ourselves. Did you, see when you were at Peterhead, did you early on think Si would be a manager?
Aye, you probably did.
Did you?
Because he was a big influence across. That was for the first day I went in, right toward the end. But you see it more toward the end because I was out injured for quite a good while. So taking all the training even down the road. I don't even think Peterhead trained down the road now because he's not there. So that just tells you everything you need to know. Such a big influence about the place.
I thought he'd been a kit man. No.
The captain's right after you, innit?
No, definitely. You see it right away. Obviously, he was taking training. You knew it was going to be good. You didn't mind travelling to Dundee because you knew it was going to be a good session. Do you know what I mean? I think if he got full control, when they got full control of it, and that sometimes you could see. You know what I mean? It was working.
But see, when you first signed with him, was he involved with the coaching, or was he just a player?
He was a player. He's a player. Aye.
Was he really was he like a coach though? Like
a coach by the time I got there.
Was he Cookie?
He was like Neil a wee bit. It was kind of similar.
Dale said that.
Aye, very similar. Like the way he tells people where to be on the pitch and all that, and the way he demands it people and that, very similar to him.
Any other stories with Rickard journeys? There must be all.
Hurls, man.
Come on then,
tell us what's staying in and what's going out here, because I'm not getting on it.
There was mega stories on that bus, wasn't there?
Can we get one of the mega stories?
I'm trying to think. One time I was weird driving that minibus, right? Remember the boy Jamie Stevenson, Ted to call?
Aye. Right, he plays in this league?
Aye, he plays for Berwick. So I'm driving the bus, right, and I'm in 6th gear.
Oh, that's right.
And he goes like that, but don't put it into 1st gear. So we're going about 80 miles an hour, right? I did, fuck it, man. 1st gear. So never mind. The thing wouldn't move, man. So I'm pressed, I'm like, oh no, boys, this is bro.
It was just as you came out of the bridge, like coming from Dundee back up towards Perth. But we're in no man's land.
I love a cloak at night and people are working in the morning and that, and I'm like, fuck it, we'll do it, get all the boys a day off, fuck. Right? Put it on. I'm trying to switch things back on, it's not coming back on and all that, but eventually started, we get back came, man, but I've got hundreds of stories, but no,
must have made some noise, he put into fucking 61st.
It
just died completely.
It does, just conked it.
So were the majority of boys that Peterhead from like Glasgow or Southside anyway?
Aye, most of them for
that point made the
south or west of Scotland.
I most of them for Glasgow, that, there was a couple of boys from Aberdeen and that.
So was it one night in Glasgow and then one night
in Dundee?
Tuesday in Dundee, Thursday Glasgow Green. But the majority was off down here at
so
that point anyway.
So half the team trained in Glasgow?
No, even half, 3/4 down here.
It must be hard that though, isn't it?
That's mental.
It's hard getting a full team together. You had to do a bit of shape or something. It's a sure to suit your mind for a Saturday. Do you know what I mean? It's hard that you need to kind of do it.
But by the way, Paul, talking about ins and outs of football clubs, make sure, talking on the documentary, you subscribe for free to the Open Goal YouTube channel to see what it's like inside the dressing room at this club.
It's outstanding how the way you've done that. Unbelievable.
I'll be back in.
Amazing.
No.
Right, let's go on. Right, boys. Guys, Cookie, where did it all start for you, your careers? Where did you come through?
He's far more interesting than me.
Guys, where did you come through? Did you start, I mean, in my head I'm sure it was Celtic, but did you start at Rangers?
Aberdeen.
Oh, you didn't.
Somewhere in between,
No, you didn't.
Mate, honestly, God.
Mate, I've been talking to him remote for the last 2 hours. I said, where did you start? It's Lactis Celtic.
No, I Wikipedia them and it said Hamilton.
No, I was a wee boy, I started at Aberdeen, I was 8. I was a striker and I was number 5. I swear. Mate, I loved it, man. What a club, man. I was only 8 and I was there for like 3 years. My granddad took me everywhere. So I was up in Aberdeen every second week. And then got to the stage it was the travelling, that was a bit much and I was doing well at the time. So I went to Rangers maybe about, which was a 10.
Was Andy there? And the holiday?
Maybe probably a couple of years
older
than me, aye. So I went there when I was about 10 till I was about 16. No, 10 till about maybe 14 maybe. And then went to Celtic for a year. So that was like my sort of youth.
How did that happen? How did you end up leaving Rangers to go to Celtic? Were you not enjoying it?
No, I'll be honest with you, I was doing really well at the start and that, and just started doing the weights and all that, and I couldn't lift a fucking cotton bud. No, I swear to God, at that point I was a wee skinny boy, honestly, I was a snooker cue. Honestly, man, and it was getting to the stage, you always got to get released, do you know that way? You can just tell what
Who was your coach there?
Craig Mulholland, he was brilliant to me.
Was he?
He was good to me, really good to me. Then I went to Celtic. To be honest with you, they got my confidence back and everything. I was there for a year maybe, and it was brilliant. I had no confidence when I left Rangers. And I went to Celtic for a year and it was absolutely brilliant, man.
Who was that? Who boys were there? Was that
Islam, John Hearn.
See when Islam, guys, was he a joke? Because I got he came up to the first team. Did you ever?
I played against him. It's unreal.
Because he came up to the first team and he didn't run. But
best I've ever seen at that age.
Was he?
Aye. Tell you, the best I've ever seen. See when I played with Rangers, see me play against Celtic, we used to beat 5-0 when he played. But see when he never played, it used to be like an even game. That's how good he was. Honestly, it was unbelievable. He had everything.
Why do you think though you know went on?
Were you there when he?
Surely it must be money.
No,
I didn't money, Slaney. And that money and just lifestyle would go to your head.
His attitude when he went up to the first team on reserves, he didn't run at times, and you could see that then, even before he's even played a game for the first team.
How many of these sort of wonder kids in that DC are here when they're a certain age and you just never hear them again? I can't mind Freddie Adu. Mind Freddie Adu, DC United.
Who was your coach in there, guys? Celtic?
John Sludden, he died, man. He fucking passed away. That was terrible. He was a great guy as well. John Sludden, Guy Gill, they were good to me, man. But I couldn't believe when Sluddy died. That was sad. So it was him and Gill, they were brilliant.
How long were you in there for?
A year, and then me and Andy Robertson get released on the exact same day.
No way.
Did
you play in the same team?
Aye, same team, aye, but obviously I'd done better than him.
That's what I said. I
carried the Regala gate when he went to Belgium.
How was he brilliant?
Aye, mate, he was always a good player, just the same, tiny.
Do you not play centre mid?
No, left back he played.
Was he left back?
He was brilliant, man, just that time, but they seemed to go for big boys in Scotland, didn't they, at that time? Back then, I was tiny and all, I was really, really small.
That's what I was going to say, like the amount of these wonder kids you hear it, the majority of them are more physically developed at that age and that's how they stand out so much.
Aye.
But see, you'll probably know, Kev, yourself, see being a coach that age, as much as I always find this, people look at somebody's career or where they are at 25 and they'll hear that they got released for Rangers, Celtic at 14 and they go, who the fuck released them? Look at them now. But it's very hard to tell, isn't it?
Even like now, I went and watched the Celtic young kids all day, the 2014s, and you can't tell at that age.
Nah.
You can tell that some of them have got a wee bit more about others, but you can't tell. You get a lot of parents who'll walk away and say, "Oh, my boy's at Celtic, he's doing great," and come back and tell me what he's doing when he's 18, because there is so much to go from, I would say, the age of 15 to 18. I don't think at 16 you get released and your career's done.
No,
I think you can still keep going.
That could actually be the best thing that happens to people getting released at 16.
Listen, sometimes you get released and you realise that, oh right, I need to work harder, like he's saying there about at Celtic, I didn't want to do weights and stuff, because I kind of knew I was released, right? I get that because you've had that inkling, but you then turn it round and say, well, what happens if I did do weights and I tried just that wee bit harder? What could have happened? That's why I think kids, you've always got to not train as if it's your last day, but give everything so that when you do get released, or if you get released, you're able to turn around and say, I fucking really did give that my everything. Because let's be honest about it, you can know the ability well, but see, every now and then, you need that bit of luck. You don't get the luck.
100%.
Because I think everybody that's played football, well, he had a bit of luck somewhere, a story that they can say, this happened at this point, and that's what changed, it made me get there. And
see the thing, right? I probably, people would slaughter me for saying this, but see how people always make a big thing of the fact that somebody's been released or they don't play because they're too small. See, sometimes at academy level, boys generally are too small to get the best at them. So there's some players who you'll see who are really small and they're brilliant, but see in a game, they're that behind physically that they can't keep up with the pace.
Andy, Robbie, I'm glad you've said that. Sorry. Just I'm glad you said that, because in my team, I've got a couple of 2 or 3 wee kids, and I'm having to coach them in a way that to try and get the physical side away from so instead of getting up close to the right back or the left back and they push him out the way they're in by them, how can you get the ball in without getting involved in the physical side of things? So I'm trying to adapt our game so that instead of trying to outrun a wee guy down the wing, can we come back and play a 1-2 round the guy so that you can get into the position you want to be, but no having to use your... Because kids develop at different ages. That wee guy that's 2'2" at 8, by the time he gets 11, he might be 5'8".
Aye, because I had an example of it, and there's actually a boy I can think of. We had, he came on trial at Thistle, had him in at training stuff. Boy was good with 2 feet, really good player. But in the games, he just got swallowed up. And it was as if so we were under 14s at the time, so that was 11 aside first year. And you could tell the pitch was just too big for him. He was never getting on the ball. He just wasn't influencing the game as much, and you could tell it was starting to affect his confidence. And I thought he's a perfect example of someone who, right at this minute, the jump probably isn't the right time for him, but he's one that if he goes back to his boys' club, he's probably no playing with people who are physically developed, no as quick or whatever. He'll probably progress better that way. So a lot of people hear that, oh, he's not getting a game because he's too weak, or he's been released because he's too weak, and think, oh, they've just dismissed that purely because he's height. But it's not at that time. That level just not ready for him, but the coach probably knows I'm doing this for your best interest. You better go and see where you're getting more touches of the ball, you're a better player, and then come back in a few years. So it's something I always think of when people say, oh, how did he get at least 10 years ago? Because you don't know the circumstance back then, do you know what I mean?
All the time, aye.
And then the final example of that is look at the small players in the top leagues.
Messi.
Like, they've no grown much over the years, but they've got there. Exactly, you're right. Messi. I can't even rattle off any other names.
Peter Crouch.
Evan Maley.
Evan Maley out there. At some point, Evan Maley was 3'5".
Aye.
He's obviously grew to 3'8".
Guys, and then, sorry Kev, you from there, just back onto your career, mate, for Celtic, did you go straight to Hamilton?
I went straight to Hamilton, aye.
Was that in the first team, no?
No, so I went under 17s at Hamilton, and then I got off the full-time contract. But obviously with the school I had to pick uni.
Did you're still doing a bit of uni, aren't you? Was it a lawyer, innit?
I'm law, so I'm in my 5th year now.
How's it going?
It's going well, mate. Just don't know what to go, civil law or business law.
Criminal, you're better.
Home economics,
I'm doing a bit of that now, so just at night, mate, studying, that's fucking hard.
It's hard for you because of the football at night as well.
Oh, it's hard.
How do you tie it
See
all
when
on?
I've got a referral now, right? See when I'm training all right, and go home and type it up.
We need to speak to Si about me.
Murder sort
We need to
of
speak to him because this isn't right for you. No way.
Definitely.
No way. So did Hamilton help you with that, the lawsuit, and get you involved with it? Did they help you with that?
They helped me with big time.
Billy Reid, he was good with all that, wasn't he?
Right, man, to get him on.
Was he good with you, Billy Reid?
Brilliant.
Was he?
Different class. So I went full time there. It's obviously 16. I left school and that. Brilliant, man. Best time I've done, to be honest with you.
Was Dale was there as well, wasn't he?
Aye, Dale was
that
there.
The first time you met him?
Aye, sort of you of him before that, obviously, but aye, Dale was there, aye. But Billy was brilliant to me, man. Absolutely brilliant. I made my debut at 16. Played against Livingston, went down to 9 men. Had to end up playing right back.
Did you?
Honest to God, man.
What age were you then?
19. Okay, I'm 16. 16. End up playing
How long
right
was
back.
the game was? It was 60 when it started the game. You asked me to
We drew by each.
So would that be 2000, like...
It was his birthday, wasn't it?
2010 probably, maybe.
Aye.
2010. And then after that, we were first start against Queen of the South and get married a match. It was brilliant. So Alec Neil played in that game as well. And
Was he? I've heard that he was ruthless with players on the pitch, but good.
brilliant for me, but brilliant for me.
See, he's a young player playing though. You're centre mid as well.
Aye.
Would he slaughter you, or would he be hard on you?
No, really with me.
No, with you, no.
It was brilliant to me. See, when I was younger, man, I was a bit like I used to shout back, and I think they kind of liked that a wee bit.
Right, but you had a bit to be back.
But now I kind of lost that. I kind of went out me when I got older. I don't know when my granddad died. I kind of lost all that. He died 6 years ago.
You struggled with that, didn't you?
Big time, man. Because he brought me up in that, obviously. So after that, it was just kind of hard, man. But back to Hamilton. Dale was there. Still had the fucking the teeth in it. You know what I mean?
You got your teeth done, didn't you?
The boat, man.
What a boy.
I just spat that game up. See that?
I didn't know what to say.
Falling out of my mouth, never.
I was hoping nobody noticed that.
Dale told me that when I'm sure your first training session with the first team, the boys were warming up. and you ran away for the boys up to Billeride and stayed to Billeride. How you starting me?
I was only 16, man, and warming up, man.
It was a warm up. He ran away for the boys to ask the manager.
I was away setting the goals up, so we used to stand at steps and I was in these cages, man. You know, my wee pal Craig Johnson, he's some things we used to do were unbelievable. You get the bus around side the road and everything. But I was out setting the goals and that up, man, and warming up, and I was trained the day before, and I thought, I should be playing here, man. And I ran out of Billeride and done that. Yeah, how man, I'm playing in your first team? It's only 16-year-old. He's like, what's this? He's built me though, with stuff like that, because some managers might hate that, wouldn't they? He was amazing for me, man, and it was wee Craig's first day and all. Me Craig came into that, you call him Gaffer, and we Craig that, oh Billy boy, where's that, let's go. He's two coach, man.
How'd you excited to that format to it? Boys, I must no starting for you.
Oh, he'd love it.
He'd be gone, wouldn't he?
Think so?
He would go.
Don't say that. Why don't we watch and end up there?
He's mentioned that off air, like about some of the boys text him saying, "Si, can I might not make it this week." He called me fucking Si.
No, it was brilliant, but man, it was amazing for me, and obviously.
How many games did you play there, guys?
11, I think.
Did you? And then did you go to Bolton for there?
I went to Bolton, aye.
What a move that
What's
was.
that move?
Were they Championship at the time?
Championship, I just come down for the Premier League.
Who was your manager? Was it Big Sam?
Dougie
Oh,
I thought it was Big
Sam
Sam.
Allardyce, no?
Dougie Friedman.
That's pish.
No, he was brilliant, man. Because obviously,
you didn't settle it, did you?
Nah, well, I knocked it back the first time, and then they came in for me again in the summer. So I knocked it back, and then I went back and played at Hamilton for another 6 months, just to try and mature a wee bit. That never happened. I'll still be waiting around.
When will that happen?
Dougie Friedman will still be waiting on you.
But then the second, and then obviously when the season finished, I let my contract run out at Hamilton, and Bolton got me on a free, so they phoned me and said, "Do you want to just come down and sign?" So I went down and signed, and that come back up the road knowing that was going on loan to Partick Thistle, so I had the best of both worlds at that time.
How did that come about?
Well, I was down there and I was playing the first 2 weeks. I stayed. Dougie Freeman was he offered me to stay in his house nut, so he did. He was amazing. So I was down there for 2 weeks, and I was 18. I had the same pair of boxers on for 2 weeks, same pair of shorts on for 2 weeks. Honest to God, football wise, it was right for me. I was flying at the time. I know I was flying at the time. I scored a goal in that in the first game, and absolute belter. And I thought, fucking, this is brilliant. But see, after it, I was going home and sitting in the hotel and phoning my man, and it was just.
You hated it, didn't you, doing that?
No, I loved the football
away from home
side, but I wish it happened.
Homesick. I think a lot of boys get that. I got that.
It was only me, my gran and grand up here, but my granddad was getting older. And I thought, if I go down here,
you're not going to spend your time.
No matter what money, like that means nothing. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, I'd rather have the last 2 years with him than I did down there.
So wait, age you when you went to Bolton?
18.
18. Was there no any other Scottish boys of that down there? No way that can help.
Michael Harden never spoke a word to me. I think he thought I was French or something. Joe McKee.
You've got a French accent.
Joe McKee was there. Wilder. You Wilder for Rangers.
Joe McKee's a good player, isn't he?
Aye, good player.
Well,
he's real underrated, to be honest, man. I think he could have done a lot better.
Was there any big names?
Greg Wild was not much help, was he?
Oh, I felt brilliant. Honestly, I was one of the smartest guys doing that when I went down with him.
Oh, right. These are good guys.
Who's the big names at Bolton?
So they would come down, so what would that be? What year was that?
Kevin Davis.
Wow.
Chung Young Lee.
What was Kevin Davis like?
What was Kevin Davis like? Remember him?
He's a good looking boy.
Benny Cafobe.
He's brilliant.
Aye, he was on.
So did you went with the first team?
Aye. First team, I trained with the first team my first week.
See, when you went from Hamilton to Bolton, was there a pure massive difference in standard? Aye. And not just in terms of ability, but like professionalism.
Aye, professionalism was tremendous, man. You would go and you would warm up, and that would be sprinkled. And then during that spectator session, the pitch would all be sprinkled. Like everything was just.
Did they get summer training academy?
Aye, it was brilliant. I know that I didn't need to sell it, but when I went into that trouble, but aye, it was amazing.
You are sprinkled, didn't you?
Aye, I walked in. I was in a dressing room myself, right? So I was in the first team dressing room to start. Well, I wasn't in it at all actually. Right, so I was in a wee dressing room, man. They walked in and said, "It's time for you to go to training." I was fucking 10 minutes late, and it's my first day. I didn't know it because I didn't know what to do. Somebody came in and got me. I was doing a hunch in the shower. I suppose it's not right, you know.
You're in the change room yourself and you're doing a hot in the shower. Some boy.
He's bought a shampoo stick in his shower, and then it's his chin, so he done a handstand.
Guys, it didn't work out for you there, did it, mate? Back up the road to Thistle on loan.
It would have worked out, but...
You enjoyed it, but you just were homesick.
It would have worked out, but... That was the green, I had to come back up the road.
Too much for you, that, aye. Good, you're still on it.
I came back on loan to Thistle for 6 months. Brilliant.
Who was that? Was that big Archibald?
Archibald, man.
He's a great guy,
yeah, he's the best, one of the best guys I've probably ever met, man. Honestly, like, he was absolutely brilliant with me. So it was time to go back down to Bolton after my loan deal. I sat in front of Dougie Freeman and that and said, listen, I can't do this. They ended up saying, do you even want to be a football player? Do you know what I mean? Because you're understanding, that was my dream to go down there. Do you know what I mean? To go down there and play, that was my dream to go and play down in England. And then it came to me and I shot it a wee bit.
Is that a regret?
No, do you know what, I don't regret it, because I don't regret it, no.
Because it was nothing to do with football.
No, it's not to do with
mentally,
football.
mate, wasn't it?
It was mentally, aye. No football-wise at all. Football-wise, it did fine. But anything else was... The players, it's easy. The players are that good that if you can't pass the ball 10 yards, then, like, honestly, you've got 8 options on the ball, you don't hit yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
I always found that England, that because of the money they have and the pickings they can pick from all the kids up and down the country, sometimes I find in Scotland you can only take what you can really afford. Whereas in England, they'll take 20, 30 boys because they know that they might get 4 or 5 out of them and they can chop 10, 20 out the way but it's the numbers and, like you're talking about facility-wise.
It's frightening.
They look after you to a level that they're basically gearing you up for first team football and it's up to you.
Definitely.
It's probably things that you don't realise that people aren't been involved at that level, being at full time, going down south, how difficult that would be, especially at that age, because you're obviously a very
It'd be interesting to see how many people go down south and struggle with that aspect of being away from home.
Aye. What were you like?
Oh, I was horrendous. Like I was, flipping hell. Something really bad happened in my life for it to turn it into a positive. My dad took a heart attack.
Right.
And I was up to that point, I was ready to quit. I thought, I hate this. I hate it. Like I was this guy can do with Scotland, and some of the boys were maybe like taking the piss, or maybe I didn't feel I was as good as some of them. I didn't feel I deserved to be there, and you start getting negative thoughts. And then my mum phoned one day to say your dad's had a heart attack. He's nearly died, and I was like, shit. So I went up the road and saw him all wired up to a machine, trying to keep his life and that. And I'm like, he pulled through, thankfully. But I'm sitting there thinking, I want to give this away when this guy drove me from Stranraer to Ayr, Stranraer to Glasgow every single week for 6-7 years, and I want to throw it away. So I went back down there with the mindset of fucking work hard, and everything just changed, and I got a lot of luck, as I've told in the past, but it worked out. But there'll be loads of me's and guys that come up and don't ever go back because, like you say, the comforts of having your parents, your granda. I mean, that it's a big thing, and even just like, it's no football. You're leaving home with your parents when everything's done for you to go into the big bad world. It's difficult.
See, I've no brothers or sisters or anything either, so that made it hard. And also, like, it was only me and my ma. Do you know what I mean? So like, I had no brothers or sisters when I knew like my man that were going to be all right.
Did you feel a bit of regret a wee bit, but no regret, but you just feel as though I
can't leave them. I feel like I got responsibility. Do you know what I mean? Like, can I be there for them? So it was. But I don't regret any, but I take my hat off to guys like KEV, but it's no easy, man. And he actually went and played, you know what I mean? It's no easy.
It's unbelievable because you had played over 100 games for Thistle in the top league.
Something like that, I don't know.
That's amazing. That's
sub-appearances, not Robert. That's with sub-appearances.
Listen, don't knock yourself down with sub-appearances, son. Fucking, I had 35 sub-appearances in the English Premier League. I've got to tell everybody it was 35 Premier League appearances.
I need 11 appearances my whole career and we're all sub-appearances.
Don't knock yourself down, son. 100 games is 100 games.
That's up and off.
That was a great time, obviously. Playing in the Premier League with Thistle at that time, I was probably the best football I've ever played at that point. I was just like, Archie just used to go and say to me, just go and play. That's all he used to say to me, like, what else could you ask for playing the Premier League at 19? She says, just go and play, go to Ibrox, Parkhead, Tynecastle, all these places. And
did your granda come and watch
it? Went every game, went up Thistle fans, do you know what I mean? I still support Thistle.
Your mum not was involved with the club, wasn't she?
No, well, no really, just to sneak people in, I must have
was she not part of the committee?
No.
She said to me, she got lots of cups of tea, remember?
Aye, lots of cups of tea, that's part of the committee, innit?
No, she's assistant manager, does it?
No, there's a family game, right? She used to take cakes, not up, but it was all space cakes, she had them all space cakes. No, so you
couldn't get your ma done? Your ma's a brilliant woman, she loved me, didn't she, when we met each other?
My ma's in Mallorca now, man.
When we were at meet up, she was mad for me, wasn't she?
That wee boy alright?
It was like something alright with him, remember?
What's that wee arrangement?
Your man, this man would get on like a housing fire.
Oh, honestly.
Everybody would get on with Susie, man.
My man's brought it on, man. She's a bit of Mallorca now, man. She's fucking mental, man.
Picture she's saying in Wales, by it? No, she's an absolute brilliant woman and she loves you to bits, mate, didn't she?
Cookie boy.
Like to know
We're going to
the
let Cookie speak now.
Right, sorry.
No, that's the right sponsor.
final one, but I want to know this one, the final one about the best players.
Oh, you want to ask him?
Aye. So, top level, Fisher won it, Premiership. Who's the best players played against?
But against Kevin Thompson.
Was he, aye?
That's a lot of people said that, by the way.
But I
I'm
played
quite
against,
surprised you said to him just because normally you think he'd be like an attacking player, but
played
you were
against,
directly
played
against
against
him.
like Van Dijk and that. But for me, directly against Kevin Thompson, it brought me back to like, you don't get class, like pure class like that anymore. He was just a class act. Like,
Good at everything.
he played with Dundee, you know, a pure Dundee team. And he was...
Side played for that team.
Aye.
You scored.
Mate, that's what he did.
What happened when you two played each other, remember? You scored that worldie.
I scored that absolute belter.
Aye.
Si was like, coming out to block it, man. But see, at that point, I think Si was in a sort of way we didn't know what he was doing with football.
I think he was a wee bit lost, wasn't he?
Aye, he was a wee bit lost, aye. But
That's funny you saying after the Dundee team inside.
I know, I didn't even I'll be muted.
No.
But you're spot on, Kevin, and I feel bad. Cookie boy,
Oh, cheers.
did you start with Celtic as well?
Aye. Aye, it started there at something 8 or 9, up into 14, 15, 14. Aye, 14 I think it was. And then,
Was that around about the same time as Gaz?
nah, guys must have been a couple of years younger. So what you, 93, 94?
28.
What year are you born? Oh,
1994.
right, there we go. There we go, we go into that. So he's two fellas.
He's brilliant.
Man, aye.
93, no, 28.
Oh, man.
I wasn't even trying that one.
I know, I was actually like, you're being serious, mate.
So how long were you there, Cookie boy?
So what was that, 5 years? 5 years. You get some good experiences and good coaching and like so. Didn't work out there, and then went to St Mirren for a year. Get shown the door again. Similar to what we were talking about being sort of too small at the time. Because you jumped from 15s to 17s. They didn't feel I could do that. So we went to Dumbarton at 16 to play in the 19s. Similar to what you were talking about with some of the younger guys. And at that point, I had a really good coach, and a guy called John Joyce.
Aye.
He pushed us really hard to get into the first team. And at that time, Dumbarton had never been like a good youth team or anything like that, but we turned it into actually quite a successful team up the top end of the league. Joyce, I think, got 5 or 6 into the first team.
What age were you then? Were you 16 then?
So I made my debut at 16, so I was still at school.
That's incredible, isn't it? Like, league football at 16.
So I was 5th year at school, so 5th year at school, tail end of 5th year, and then I played like through 6 years, so you think nearly dog's bollocks going into school.
So you were still actually at school when you were playing?
Aye, so still at school, and I was playing Dumbarton in League 1 at the time. So I think first season maybe made 9 or 10 games, scored 3 or 4 goals. So you do alright, and then because you're doing alright, not because necessarily you're a good player, but loads of clubs come to watch because they just want to see who's that young boy playing in the first team. And a couple of opportunities came out of that to maybe go and play full time, but it didn't transpire for one reason or another.
Was that something you wanted to do?
Aye, but then when you're getting offered less money than what you were on, like, I know it's not about money, but I had a decent job opportunity to move into as well. And then when you're getting offered less money to go and sign and take the risk of playing football, or you can go and balance both, which...
What was the memories of the debut? Because being 16, getting told you're there. Would you say the younger you were less nervous? Because normally if you're younger, you don't have as much fear with it.
Nah, I didn't even know I was playing, so it was up at Peterhead. The team had went on a bit because they'd just been promoted, went on a wee bit of a bad run, hadn't won in the first 6. And then we won that game. And then I started the next few thereafter, scored the second, and then you just sort of don't look back thereafter. So it worked out really well at that point.
I'd love to. What position were you when you first came in? Because you've played everywhere since. So.
Wide left. So
was that always your position, Cookie? Aye.
I kind of down the left hand side.
Was it?
So you obviously talked about your size when you were younger, saying you were small. So when you've obviously made your debut, were you small then still, or were you?
No, I took a wee bit of spurts when about 16, 17.
Because obviously I look at you and you're quite a tall guy.
No, I'm big now, don't get me wrong, but they do all the usual. They look at your mum and dad and they say, right, because I think my dad's 5'8", 5'9", my mum's 5 odd, so they look at all that, and at the end of the day, if you're
6'2".
They don't change that now. Somebody was telling me they look at the size of their feet.
Nah, who knows? But
there's a thing in one of the guys at Thistle. One of the guys at a couple of guys at Thistle went over to Benfica for some sort of educational coaching thing, and they do something they do some test on any goalkeeper they take in. So they take something for their DNA and it tells you within 2 inches of which side they're going to get to. And if it's no 6 foot, they don't sign them.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. That's crazy, isn't it?
Mine's just not moved.
Again, a boy says to me, what's your jeans like? I'd like 32 waist. I swear to God, he went like my family.
But again, with those ones, I suppose if you're good enough and whatever, they would keep you, do you know what I mean? But just if you're on the sort of fringe towards that, it's an easy get out for them, and just one of these things, you know.
Did you see when you left in Barton? Did you go to SLANEY?
No, still in Albion at that point. Again, League One, done all right that year. It was the first year I played every week, sort of thing. So I think I played almost every game. And then that was it. That was what, 18, 19 at that point. But just always then seen myself as doing all right at that point.
It's hard though, because we were talking about last year, see, we were Broth and they were part-time, but their boys had jobs as well, and they were saying if they went up the top league, would the boys then, could a Broth afford to go full-time? Sometimes you're actually better off, aren't you, though, Cookie? In some people's
that was where I was sort of fortunate enough. I've got a decent enough job away from football, and it's just a case of balancing both, and it's flexible enough, so it's always good. But some of the boys that don't have that flexibility and can't get to training, it then restricts what clubs they can sign for, and because their gaffers maybe saying, no, well, you're not getting away before 5, you can't work your lunch or whatever. So fortunate enough, I was always able to do that, and that's a big thing because you need that.
I mean, some boys that do take the jump to full-time football, obviously they end up getting a deep scenario and they go into bigger and better things, but maybe in the examples Cookie's talked about, see if you go to that full-time team that's maybe only a few places above the part-time team, what benefit you get really? See if you're saying like here, so you've said you've played with many a team, you've played full-time, yet you're still saying that size arguably the best training you've had. So even though you're part-time, it's still professional, you're still enjoying your football, you're still getting good rewards, you're potentially winning something, and then you're getting a wee bit of money as well as a job on top of that. So what really would be the benefit of going to a full-time team where you maybe wouldn't get as many perks?
It's different if it's like a Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen or something. That's different, do you know what I mean?
A full-time job at full-time football, if you're in your mid-20s, if you're getting paid enough money to make it worth your while and the enjoyment of it. But if you're going to go full-time for £100 more or £150 more a week, it's a tough decision some will have, but it's a no-brainer really when you sit down and think.
Then when you're 34, you commit to full-time, you're in that situation again, you're lost again.
It's hard that, mate, for everybody, isn't it? Cookie, what's your, if you look back at your career up until now, what's your favourite team you've played with, or favourite season?
Season-wise, probably season we get promoted with SLANEY.
That wasn't maybe Scotty McLaughlin, minute no?
No, Scotty came in year after, 2 years after.
Sorry, so that season you were
that was probably also another good year. A lot of your years are good because it depends on your squad that you're playing with, because at part-time that's a big party. It's all about the boys running about the changing room. And
did you just win the league or did you just go
we won the playoffs? So
I think that's even better.
It would be.
That was brilliant. And I guess another one, Si was playing the team that we beat to get up.
Si's had a shot.
But no, that was a good one, because just even like a bus coming back down the road. And
so who did you play in the final?
Peterhead.
Oh, was that in the final?
So we beat.
I skipped that one quite a night.
Si's never mentioned that.
But nah, listen, we done. To be fair, Peterhead finished something like 15 points clear in the league, but end of the
that's a shocker.
The lot of playoffs, it's anybody's.
So listen, we done excellent. It was a right good bunch. Done really well, and then I don't think SLANEY have been promoted since. So
so this is obviously your first experience at football below the professional league. Have you been surprised by the standard? Do you think it's been better than you thought it'd be?
I like it, man. I enjoy it. I should make I've enjoyed football a long time.
Aye.
Bless you.
Standard's really good because, again, as we touched on at the start, it's like everybody wants to play well against the better sides. Like when we try and raise our game against the better sides, so and a lot of boys that play in the Lowland League have all played in the leagues anyway, and a lot of the young boys are looking to go that next step themselves. So certainly the top 3/4 of the league have been really tough, and naturally in every league it's. For
me, I don't know about you, but I think see the introduction in the sort of pyramid, I think it's one of the best things that's happened in Scottish football for years.
I don't like the Lowland League. Sorry, I don't like the
playoffs.
If you win this league, and then you need to play the
rubbish.
That's my only thing I was going to say is there's parts of the pyramid that I don't agree with. I don't agree with the fact that you have to have a playoff everywhere to get somewhere. If you win a league, you should automatically be going up somewhere. And the idea that I know logistically Highland League, the Ayrshire League and the Lowland League, probably the top 4 or 5 teams in those leagues are on maybe a par with each other. That's maybe hard. I probably agree with that. Like Auchinleck, Talbot, Darvat, Darvel, the boys in here, Brora Rangers.
Top. In the next 5-10 years, you'll see all the leagues will be totally different.
Well, that's how I see it. I remember going down to Stranraer to do a speakers night, and I remember thinking about Stranraer sitting in the second division, right? Forward thinking, I don't think they are, right? In a few years' time, I could potentially see Stranraer getting relegated and they're probably one of the founder members of the actual Scottish Football League, been in there for whatever. If they were to go down, they could disappear. And that's if they, as a fault of their own, it might not be, but there's teams in like the Ayrshire, the Highlands, Lowland that have got proper aspirations to really go up through the leagues, but it's as if the leagues try to make it as difficult as possible for them to get to that point, because you could win this league by 10 points, then beat the Highland League comfortably, and then lose to somebody that's coming down when... Really, if you finish third at the bottom of the second division, you should just be coming straight down, and the winner of the two leagues in the playoffs should go straight up.
Tisco Bride a couple of times, isn't it? They've been picked at the final hurdle a couple of times.
Because Cove, Bonnyrigg, who's the other one? Kelty, all promoted.
Brilliant.
Aye, so
I mean, do you need between the West of Scotland winners, the Lowland League, and the Highland, and the South as well? I think
the south of Scotland, the winner of that plays the winner of the Ayrshire.
Yep.
The winner of the Ayrshire then plays the East. The East, to then get into the Lowland, and then obviously the winner of the Lowland then plays the winner of the Highland, and the winner of that then plays the bottom of the... It's bonkers.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Boys, I could sit and talk to you all day, but we're just...
No, it's
not that. I'm looking at that training pitch and I'm looking at the time. I need to be out there setting up my warm-up now.
I'll be first.
Boys, you've been absolutely excellent. Listen, I'm going to get you... I think this could be a part 2. This could be the first one we get a part 2. You've been absolutely excellent. Thanks so much, and have a good week. Well done.